Mhuri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakarepo pano paZim News Update apo patakakubatira nyaya yaChief Justice Malaba vari kunzi vari kuretaya musi wa20 May ndopo vari kusiya basa zviri pamutemo nokuti zvai zvekumanikidzwa nemaopposition nenachicho vachizodzosiwa naPresident Emmerson Mnangagwa kuti vange vachiwamiririra munhauhwa dzemaelection. Ndiona sekuti inhau yekutoti igepe rinonga rakatorongwa kudhara because vaMnangagwa vanozokukanda joka because vari kunyatsaona kutoti hapasisina president akuvhotewa kuparliament, so zvokuti Malaba achatimiririra kana kuti achaita sei hapasina nyangwe kuretire hazvisina basa. Ndosaka tiri kuona Chief Justice Malaba vari kuretire musi wa20 May ndo pavari kusiya basa apo vari kupinda nyaya yema-war veteran vakakwidza nhaurwa iyi nema-ex-combatants kutoti no hatisi kuda bill number 3 hatisi kufanira kupasa sezvo zvetiri kuona kuti ma-ex-combatants ma-retired generals ma-war veteran vanhu vese vando vakaenda kuhondo, saka vari kunyatsa kuziva zvavakaendera kuhondo ende vanhu ivo makada kuzocherechedza vasiyana negeneration yechimanje manje yekutoti anogona kupiwa 2 pizza chichi chimwe ototi abo chichi chimwe ivo havatobvumi izvinhu zvakadaro. Kune vamwe vari kuzonyengedzwa zvavo nemabhasikoro nemachiki kuti hakuna anozokwanisa kuramba zvake, but tiri kuona kuti havanyanyi kubvuma mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tiri kuti tinzwe Temba Muliswa munyase kuona kuti zvepolitics ndezvemari, inzwai Temba Muliswa. Tichibva muna Temba Muliswa tiri kunzwisai futi imwe update tichanga tichakupai panapa.
Honorable Mliswa, you say cabinet itself has become the center of corruption. Now cabinet is headed by the president. Are you in essence saying that the president himself is corrupt?
We can no longer hide the fact that he's the number one citizen. We can no longer hide the fact that he's responsible for decisions in cabinet. We can no longer write that he is responsible for decisions at Zanu PF. The reason why I talk about Zanu, it is the ruling party. It is the one that comes with its policies. So for us to go back to the old mantra of saying Mugabe was good, it was the people around Mugabe, those days are gone. We've got to call a spade a spade. The Excellency is in charge. He is in control. He has executive powers. He has every power to deal with any situation. Why is he not doing it? He has the right to appoint. He has the right to disappoint. He has the right to review his team. But if he's not doing that, then he is happy with his team. And ultimately, the blame is with him. And we can no longer bless it. I'm not one who's going to... That is what made Zimbabwe go wrong. Because the President Mugabe, very right. My ministers are very right. But who appoints the ministers? Who presides over government? Zanu PF, okay? It does not speak about corruption. Yes, they talk about zero tolerance on corruption and so forth. He is responsible and he must be held accountable. It's as simple as that. The former president lost power through an impeachment process because of misconduct, because of not following the constitution. And that's what we used. That motion was moved by Maridadi at first. I was seconding it. Then ZANU-PF saw it fit. Okay, whether was it factional fights to then want to move it through Honorable Mchangwa, then seconded by Maridadi. And that's how the last president lost power because of misconduct. So to me, not only that, the vice president, then Comrade Mnangagwa, was also expelled from ZANU-PF by the Mugabe regime for misconduct. So misconduct of what? Because there are certain powers that you have which you must exercise to get this country.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning, sir.
This room is still going on live, 24 hours.
Do you want to pay us for keeping it going?
Oh, no, it's...
I can give you my PayPal.
I was in the room like 7-8 hours, probably 6 hours ago, and I slept for a bit. And just being up listening to you guys talk, so just trying to recap as to where we are in the conversation, you know, what we've agreed, next steps. Where are we in terms of, you know, this room, in terms of, you know, what we've agreed, or is it just everyone's getting their opinion in?
They often flit between the two. Opinion, platform, and then everything else. It depends. I don't think anyone has gone the whole distance of 24 hours. I think people are coming and going. I was shocked that I went to sleep and woke up and I'm still on speaker and I didn't drop.
Exactly. When I left, he was still there, and I think probably a few minutes later you might have gone. I don't know, but I woke up. I'm like, "You're still here, and I'm hearing your voice."
But it's good. The technology is giving a full sense of commitment.
Yes, yes. And you know what? With this technology that we have, hopefully, because obviously there's like 3,000 people here. Hopefully, people back home can be hearing this. It can be like, we're not fighting alone. You know, we have people in the West who can help and or assist. And that's the motivation to give them some hope. And as I said a few hours ago when I was in the room, if someone wants to create some sort of a GoFundMe or whatever, let's start to donate and give to these young children back home. I don't know what means, we can, divvy out the money between, different organizations or student lobbying group. But if we can, if we're in the West and if we can donate something, I know I'll be able to donate something, and we can send it back home to the little kids to give them some sort of hope, especially the student unions, the campuses, because this is how the organic movement starts from the ground up, from the children, from the university students, from to the college students, to be like, right, we have the money now. We can go out and print shirts. We can go out and print posters. We can get better IT equipment to get the messaging out to people. I think that would be a start to give them some sort of a hope to fight, to fight this movement, and to hopefully make the government reconsider. Because right now the government is going down a very draconian, authoritarian sort of path, which is similar to, if you look at different countries like China, soon the people aren't going to be able to have any voices.
I think that's because governments are in place to protect the few elites within a country or a region. If you look at history, that's kind of how it's been. But we vote for them every 4 years or so. I don't see the point though.
Do we vote for them, or are they? Here's my thing about politics: are they elected or selected?
It's a good question.
I've never voted. I've only voted once. Sorry, I've only voted once. But I'm 33 years old now. I've only voted once, but I think when I was like 18, 19, that's when I realized my vote doesn't matter. Because I'm in the UK, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, one of them might be more liberal, the other one might be more conservative, but they're all talking from the same talking points. They're all getting the same monies from either the Rothschilds, different sort of bloodline family. So it's it's the same bird of a different ring. So I think most of them are selected behind the scenes. Right, we're going to put you in for 4 years. During that 4 years, it's going to be net zero carbon emission. You're going to be taxing the people, etc., etc. It's all rinse and repeat. So whenever people say, "Oh, there's an election, there's a chance for change," there's no change. The only change that does come is through radical change, through people taken to the streets peacefully, and
But
someone starting a political movement. That's the only way you
should
can.
that be the goal though? Like, oh, let's do radical change and be in the streets and burning stuff down. Is that a goal though?
Not burning and if stuff down. No, I didn't say it. I said peaceful. That's not the goal. Because if you go down that path, there's no coming back.
Yeah, I
Because
agree with that.
if you take power by violence, it's going to be taken by violence. I don't know.
What do you mean by, going in the streets? What do you mean by that?
So you can go to the street, you can campaign, you can start a lobbying group, like a lobbying. As I was saying earlier, if you guys were asleep, Marcy was here. You know, start from the
No, but going
foundation.
to the street is self-explanatory, guys.
Exactly.
It means exactly that.
Yeah, so I think for me but here's how I see it. If you look at history, if you look at the Russian Empire, different sort of empires, how they rise, how they fall, it's predominantly through violence.
You missed one step. You take it by violence. You also maintain that power by violence.
Exactly, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's misguided. I think we have so much information at our fingertips. We can actually set tangible goals like, hey, we just want our dollar to have strong purchasing power. We want to be able to like work a regular job and be able to afford a house. We want our rights. We want to be able to say whatever we want. You know what I mean? Things like that. I think having a goal like, oh, we got to be able to, or, we want to hit the streets. And I don't think that's a goal. I think that's just that's like something you do if everything just goes wrong.
I think taking to the street is one layer, and as I said, it's not violence; it's more campaign. Government, this is us. This is our people. We're mobilizing together. Hear us. But I think, as I said a few hours ago,
You're
how
just
you start.
confusing yourself. People don't just go to the street with no cause.
No, exactly.
So the things you are saying that we want buying power, and they say it there. So how do you get people onto the street when they haven't got anything? Have you ever seen a group of people who arrive on the street with nothing? Nothing to say, nothing to demand, nothing to speak to. It's never happened. So if they are on the street, they've already got what their demands are, what their intolerances are, what their expectations are, and they have a target of who they are speaking to. There's no group of people that have just said, we'll make it up as we go along. Let's just go on the street. And the rallying call is just, let's go to the street. It's never happened anywhere in the world. People
like right around
are not
COVID, there was a
insane.
George Floyd protest. People were just burning stuff to the ground for
But you
no
didn't
reason.
speak of that. But you already said what was the reason they got there. You mentioned it.
Yeah,
you said.
they use that as an excuse, but they were just burning stuff and looting
that's
stuff.
your opinion. But you already mentioned there was a George Floyd issue. The trigger. There's a trigger. Now you're just saying what you don't like about their action. You're not saying...
okay, so they did take the action. What was the result? They burned down billions of dollars worth of property for what?
Violent resistance.
What actually...
He said
did
peaceful
they
resistance.
Progress any movement forward? I don't think so.
You can't superimpose something onto something he didn't say. You're now creating a strawman argument. You're arguing things he didn't say. He didn't say, let's go to the street and be violent. He didn't say that. So what is the need for you to insert something he didn't say?
Who didn't say?
Newtero.
Oh, no, yeah, no, sorry.
He didn't say that.
This is a bit of a tangent, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, he didn't say that.
It would have been more prudent to go and claim another action that is similar to what he's calling for.
Yeah, I'm not talking. I was talking about something
apples
you said.
Apples for apples, oranges for oranges.
Okay, I'm gonna go get milk. I'll be right back.
You know what I've realized? We have a lot of people, some people that come on here, they're not us. They don't understand. I can guarantee you that individual that was talking does not have our skin color.
That doesn't matter. I wouldn't. No,
It doesn't.
that
No,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. But it's when people try and infer things, because that's how conversation starts to get heated, and they take the clip, they take the audio, and they say, right, look at these people. They're trying to say inside. You need to look at the bigger picture. I understand what you're saying. It doesn't matter. But context like this does matter, because what they're going to do, right, I went into this room, they were talking, and then such and such person said incite violence, George Floyd, blah, 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 blah. You know, you need to look at the bigger picture, because this is how infiltration starts. Look at Africa as a whole. How did we get this poor? Because we let people that did not look like us come in. They take our resources. No, let me finish. Let me finish. They take our resources, and then people would say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. They're just trying to